He's been in Knoxville today speaking at a lectureship, and he's on his way back home right now. So we have a guest speaker, Brother Wayne Barrier, and I'll say a little bit more about that in a minute. But first, we got some announcements. Among those that are sick, Tommy Nix, father of Kobe Nix, been diagnosed with cancer. He went to MD Anderson recently. Marlene Vickery is home recovering from surgery. Pray for Anita Reel's daughter-in-law, Pam. Doug Gober has completed most of his tests for now and is being treated with medication. Chris Cox has gone to Mayo Clinic. Paul Calvin's brother-in-law, Ken Burrow, has a recurrence of cancer. Rita Gilmore's brother, Johnny, is home from the hospital, and her sister-in-law, Helen, is in room 222 here in Hamilton. Christy White came home from the hospital, but they said this afternoon she went back to the ER. I'm not sure if that's where she's at right now. Blake White's undergoing test. Vicki Franks is supposed to have a aortic valve replacement. Jeannie Crace is not doing well. Anita Reel fell and broke her kneecap. Barry Kerr had a scan recently and showed no evidence of metastatic disease, so that's prayers answered there. Frank Burrell's having health problems. Brantley Boyette's having sinus surgery today. Janice Bonner's in Druid City Hospital in Tuscaloosa with pneumonia in both lungs, but she is showing signs of improvement. Yes. Patricia Ernest and family, pray for them. She had a 2-year-old granddaughter pass away last night. Let's keep all these in our prayers. Don't forget the Maywood Benefit Dinner hosted by the advisory board. This will be this Saturday. Join us for a night of fun, food, and fellowship featuring the Barriers. I guess that's related to you, is it? Oh, is it? Yeah. Okay. Tickets will not be sold, but donations will be accepted at the door. Don't forget this Sunday, our gospel meeting with Reed Swindle is starting and run Sunday through Wednesday. We'll have potluck meal after morning service on Sunday and a meal on Wednesday evening before the service. The services, evening service will begin at 7 o'clock each night. Wayne Barrier's here, and we've supported Wayne for several years, and he does great work in China and Philippines and Southeast Asia. I'm not sure where all they're at. They've been out at Maywood this week with a missionary conference, and we have several of those people here tonight. We're glad to welcome them here. And right now, I'll just turn it over to Wayne.
Oops. That's not the same as that. Thank you all so much for your support of our work and for the opportunity to be with you tonight to give an update on what we're doing. And as was mentioned, we're here for our annual missionary retreat at Maywood, and there'll be anywhere from 50 to 75 of us there, almost all are missions people, And so you're welcome to come out and be with us. We'll have lunch tomorrow and then the evening meal and all the meals the next day. You're welcome to eat with us, as well as attend our sessions and hear our speakers and hear the reports that are given. And we thank, I know there's a lot of Maywood associated people here. We thank you for letting us use the camp this week too. That's a real big contribution to what we do, and we appreciate that very much. We've had a very good year in our work, and when COVID hit 5 years ago, that's almost old news, but it affected everything, everywhere, and of course, it affected what we do. We had to make a lot of adjustments in what we were doing, and we had to really work hard to keep things going, but we did, and we implemented some things that we hadn't been doing before, and we've incorporated those long term into what we're doing, and our results are better than they've ever been before. So we're pleased with that, and we have made trips this year already. I have a trip coming up in July. About 6 of us are going, and then there's trips all through the rest of the year to the different countries that we're in. I can't see what I'm going to be talking about yet, so they're working on it.
Not working right now. I'm working on it, though, trying to get it.
Okay, I'll just keep talking. We have 2 new projects. There won't be anything in what I'll be showing tonight. I'll tell you about those. A couple of years ago, a friend of mine in Key West, Florida, asked me if I would help them look at a project they were doing in the Dominican Republic. And so I went over there with him. He's a real good friend and a good friend of mission work. And there was a congregation there in Santiago, Dominican Republic, that had about 200 people attending, and about half of them were Haitian refugees. They'd fled Haiti. Of course, that's the same island. Santiago's about 2 million people, and they could make it for a couple of years in DR, and then they would have to go on. And they, instead of going back to Haiti, they went on over to South America, and were settling all over South America. And these were people who were faithful in the church while they were there. And my friend had helped them buy their building. They had a children's school in the same building, mostly for Haitian children. But to make a long story short, I suggested that they think about training those Haitian men before they went on to South America, so that when they went here and there, they could form congregations and actually would be ready-made missionaries. And so we started working on that. There's some really good men there. 2 million people in Santiago, 2 congregations. So a lot of growth opportunity needs in that city as well. So we formed Santiago Bible College. It's licensed and accredited and all those kinds of things to be totally legal. And we hope we'll have classes this month. This coming up, our first classes, we've got 20 students. We'll be teaching in both Creole and Spanish, but we think that's going to be a real productive project to do that. And the director for that work is a retired U.S. Army colonel who's been preaching for about 10 years, and he's originally from Haiti, and he's really good. So he'll be working with us on that, and then couple of local preachers.
Give it a try now.
Okay. Is this the right one?
Yeah.
Is it the red, green? Okay. I'm not getting anywhere. Okay. Oh, at the top. Oh, it says danger. I better not. Oh, here we go. Okay, good. All right. I'm going to be looking way up there, so, anyway, well, I'll get into the report my children have traveled and worked with us all of their life, and they've always said, "Daddy, you talk way too much. You need to show pictures." But anyway, here's what we do everywhere in the world that we go, and we find a way to do mass evangelism. We want as many people as possible to hear the gospel. We use radio, literature, television. We get lots of responses, thousands of responses every month, and we follow that up by going to them, first with literature and then in person. And then that's when people are baptized. We baptize hundreds of people every month. And then finally, Bible schools are used to train people to go into the growth areas. And that's our program. We do all three because it takes all three to be efficient and effective. And we have 16 schools in our follow-up training programs, and we've added 2 more. The second one we've added is in Thailand. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. This is the reach of our mass media efforts across the world, and we're in South America, East Africa, and most of our work is in South Asia. You can see over there on the right. And let's see, okay. I'm going to mention countries now and talk a little bit about them. The country with the largest population of any nation in the world today is India. And there's over 1 billion Hindus in India. They represent 1 out of every 8 people in the world is a Hindu, and most of them are in India. So we cover all of India with some kind of mass media, and then we have follow-up bases in different places. New Delhi and Bangalore are highlighted there on the map, and I'm going to have to get better at this. Okay, that's one of our co-workers. I'll just keep going. This is from the streets of India. It's a video if it'll go here.
Video's not gonna work.
Okay, all right, we'll just go on. That was in New Delhi, India. Over 30 million people in that city, and we operate out of New Delhi in a lot of our work. This is one of our television radio speakers, a longtime preacher and elder in the church. This is on the left is our key man today. He's the 3rd generation Christian in the David family, and he's with our son Joey, who co-directs the work with me. And then on the right is a Burmese family that fled Burma because they're in civil war, and we have a lot of work in Burma. And he was actually one of our directors of our school in near Rangoon, Burma, but because of civil war, he had to leave. Bangalore's another base. We reach out from there in South India. This work over the years has been led by P.R. Swami. He has baptized, he and his team, over 65,000 people. Just a tremendous worker and evangelist. And that work is on a solid foundation, but it's very hard. Indian governments in different states are making it harder for us to get in. I think y'all are very familiar with India work through Ron Clayton's work through the years, and we still have those programs. Sri Lanka, just south of India, is we work primarily with the Tamil-speaking people from India there. This is 2 or 3 congregations together for a fellowship. They too have had terrible problems with their economy and their government, but the work's picking up, baptism's taking place, moving out into the rural areas, and little congregations being planted like this group that was just baptized here. And larger groups, that's our youngest son, and this group actually has a building in northern Sri Lanka, a country of 20-something million people. This is another video. We won't be able to do it. In Sri Lanka, it actually was a group of people marching from one city to another, praying to a God to heal them, and they were all people who had terminal illnesses. And one of the pictures in it is a man hanging from hooks in his skin, and they hurt themselves hoping that Kali, a god that they believe in, will hear them. And anyway, that was a video of that Jeremy was able to take. Nepal, just north of India. We've been there about 12 or 14 years. This also is a primarily Hindu country. We base our work in Kathmandu. Of course, that country is in the Himalayan mountains, and mostly Hindu. And most of the temples, though, are Buddhist temples. And because they own the mountaintops and they put their temples up there, but there's not many Buddhists, so the Hindus actually somehow work with them. Our main thing is Nepal Bible College. We formed it just before the pandemic. We're on our third batch of students, and we're focused on reaching into western Nepal. Most of the mission work has been in the east. We're planting congregations every few weeks, every month or so in the east. And we were there for graduation. Good students, already preaching, teaching, doing good work. And this graduation, 50 family members, and some of them traveled for a couple of days to get there for their graduation. We were just impressed with their support of what's going on there. Everywhere we work, we print literature in their language. We have people who can translate, and then we print. And we work closely with World Evangelism Winona, Mississippi, the J.C. Choate work, and some of them are here tonight, some of the Choate team. And their specialty is literature. So almost all the literature we use comes from Winona, and it'll then be translated into these various languages in all the countries that we're in. Our radio speaker for Nepal is on the right. Pramod Dakal is his name. He's very, very good, a former assistant secretary in the government cabinet, a cabinet level job. He knows everybody. He can get us in and do things when you can't do it in that country because of his connections in government. That's a blind man that had been taught and baptized in a new congregation. This is also a new congregation here that was just formed in western Nepal. And then this is the group when they're outside. And that's Joey, our son, with them. And Joey said as they were leaving this gathering right here and about to head back toward Kathmandu, they said they had a pretty rough area to go through, and they said, be careful about tigers. You might get attacked by a tiger. And Joey said, wow, that is something, tigers. And he said, yeah. And said, other times during the year we have a problem with elephants. And they come down and trample our crops. And so it's another world. Burma, Myanmar, favorite work. Double Springs is our sponsoring congregation, and they put a lot of emphasis into Myanmar. They kind of adopt this part of our work for the most emphasis. And we've been there 28 years. We started there with less than a dozen, 6 or 7 members of the church when we started 28 years ago, and there's congregations all over the country now. We have 5 schools there, but right now they are locked down because of civil war that started during COVID when the military took over their civilian government, and the 15 major tribes are fighting the government, trying to get back to freedom, and so they're really struggling, but our leaders are out. They're out campaigning. They're working across the country. We're not allowed to use our school buildings, so they just meet in places that they rent for 4 or 5 days at a time. We've trained 2,000 people in Myanmar Bible College, and we didn't get in for about 2 years after COVID started. We finally got there. These are some of the leaders that met with us, and got 2 of my sons, and then another American that was there, and good fellowship with them, just a good time, very encouraging to them and us as well. This has been a big growth area for us. It's been a very, very successful effort in the things that we've tried to do through the years. They always feed us and good food, and then give us reports. And I've told a story or two about Brother Tin Lin here. He died of the pandemic, and he's one of the ones who helped me reach into northern Burma. And his son took his place. He was in the Philippines finishing his doctorate. He came home, took his dad's place, and he gave one of the best reports we've ever seen. These are pictures from his reports. As he traveled through the jungles, he could not go on the highways and the roads because of the military. So he traveled through jungle trails that the people know about to do campaigns and evangelize all across the northwestern part of the country. And these are just pictures from those meetings that he had on that trip. Brave people. It just amazes me at their courage and their determination and their resourcefulness. Most of you probably know of the earthquakes that occurred last month in Thailand and Burma. If we had this video working, you would see that building fall to the ground there behind in that picture. And of course, many, many buildings fell. That's in Mandalay. We have a team in Mandalay doing relief right now, led by two of our preachers that work with us. And they're doing a good job in a very, very difficult situation. Earthquake relief taking place, tents for people to have some kind of shelter as they get on their feet. They wouldn't, even if their homes survived, they wouldn't go back in their homes because they were afraid the tremors would bring them down. So just a hard time in a place where they were already struggling in every way. China, we put more money into China, the China project, than anything else because we don't know how long there'll be a door to get into China. But we enter through the border between Burma and China. Our work in Burma naturally spread up to the border and just kept on going across into China. We've started well over 100 congregations in China. We really don't know how many because they meet in homes and just usually 2 or 3 families. But we are pouring thousands of dollars every month into literature, and it's being distributed. It's being requested and distributed, and as well as Bibles, Chinese Bibles. And we do have a team. There's 4 men who work with us on this project. The leader of that team is on the left. He was trained by denominational people, and then we taught, and he was converted. He was trained in England, and just a real asset in our work. And that's his family on the right. And of course, that's 2 of my sons and another co-worker. His children hope to get their education here, hopefully at Freed Hardeman, and then go back and help their parents. And we're trying to help them with that. Uzana Bible College was designed to train Chinese preachers, and we're still functioning in that program, but it has to be remote. We can't go in a permanent location. And of course, baptisms, lots of baptisms. Jayati, and that's his wife, they're translating literature. They live on the edge of a campus of 50,000 students, mostly Chinese-speaking students. And so they do a lot of work with students that go back into China. They're on the Burma side. Vietnam, this is another communist type. It is officially a communist government and very totalitarian like China, but we're doing lots and lots of business, America is, with Vietnam. And because of that, Saigon is just growing in leaps and bounds, and Americans are there, and they kind of look the other way in what we're doing. We've had a few close calls through the years, but as a whole, things are going well. We have 2 Bible colleges there, Vietnam Bible Institute and Vietnam Bible College, to train workers. We have some competent men who help us. That's in Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City. We were there 15 years ago. These big skyscrapers weren't there, and there's just miles and miles of city with huge buildings everywhere, and they weren't there a few years ago. And so it's just amazing to see it. This is the old American Embassy, and this is where the helicopter evacuation took place on April the 30th, 1975, 50 years ago today. And y'all remember those pictures of those people clinging to those helicopters trying to get out? Today in Vietnam, it's called Independence Day. It's called Independence Day because that's when the North took over the South, and the country was, quote, unified. Following that takeover, millions of people were slaughtered. And our brethren, many of our brethren died. Many of them went to prison. But one survived that still works with us. He's one of the key people that works with us. And they have managed to survive through all these 50 years. Of course, the last few have been better. But today, they're not celebrating like we celebrate the 4th of July. They're mourning. The people of Vietnam are in mourning. The only people who are happy about today are their leaders, the leaders of the country, their communist leaders. But today is that 50-year anniversary. But we love working there. We love working with the people. They're so humble and so eager to learn and to teach other people. This is the man that we started working with when we went back to Vietnam. On the left, he was a soldier in the South Vietnamese Army, worked with a medical unit of American doctors, and that's who taught and baptized him. He still works with us today, and his replacement is his son on the right there. And then every now and then a close call. This was at Vietnam Bible School where we were having classes, and the Army broke us up about 18 months ago, and we moved to another location not far away and kept on going. They did. And my wife and I are teaching classes there in that coffee shop conference room upstairs. Even reached up into Hanoi, have baptized and formed a little congregation up there. This man leads Vietnam Bible Institute. We brought him to America and got his MDiv at Heritage, and he does a lot of translation and leads that school. Very, very strong young leader that we really are proud to have. And of course, baptisms. And then this is the video just in when we were having lunch together. And then afterwards, tofu factory. One of the members of the church owns a tofu factory, and they give the profits so they can run the school there. And that's impressive. The Philippines, we focus on the middle islands. Up at the top is Manila, the island of Luzon, and down at the bottom is Mindanao, and several big cities down there. Missionaries have been there for over 100 years, but they didn't go into the middle. 7,000 islands in the middle, so that's our focus, is those middle islands, and we have different bases there. That's a shopping mall in Cebu City that would rival any mall here. And this is the director of our Philippine Institute of Biblical Studies, our oldest school. It's 25 years old. He runs it. His dad ran the school before he did. Neil Imperato and his wife. We've trained a couple of thousand people in this school that have gone out across those islands. We work with the Bear Valley Institute in Denver, Colorado. They have an international program, and we work together with them in 2 or 3 places. They actually have a degree program, and all of our schools are 2-year schools. They're just certificate programs. So we have some that can get degrees. When we go, we participate in all phases of what we do. We have 32 operating points worldwide, and we visit every operating point at least 2 times a year and spend some time with them at that place. And this is in northern Cebu, in a lectureship that they're having. And then these men are learning how to be song leaders. And so a group of leaders in all of our programs have to be able to do both English and whatever the local language is. Not all of them have to do English, but we have to have some that are proficient in English so we can translate literature. And so, they're learning to be song leaders. They're singing in Cebuano there, and then in this picture they're singing in English. And that's the group in that lectureship, about a dozen congregations involved. My wife had a ladies program. She did several ladies programs on this trip. This was last year. And then we noticed a pen full of turkeys out back, and we realized what they were for us, the last day, and very good turkey. Really good turkey. I don't like turkey at Thanksgiving very much. This was good, and I said, how did you make it so good? And I saw a bottle of 7-Up sitting there. I said, we rubbed this 7-Up on it while we're cooking it. You ever heard of that? It's good, real good. Our newest work project in the Philippines is on the island of Samar. This is the 3rd largest island in the Philippines. I think 12 million people live on the island, lots of villages in one city with a college in it. And so we're headed over to Samar, to Borongan. And this is the leader of Samar Bible School. He was a student in our first school, Philippine Institute, 25 years ago. He baptizes 300 people a year. And we get pictures like this every couple of weeks where he's on a campaign. And this is just a little tiny stream coming off of a mountain. It's narrow, but it's deep. He's got those people lined up. One by one, he baptizes them. And if he's close to the water, the ocean, he'll baptize them in the ocean. But he is an evangelism dynamo, just one of the best. And so we got, is anybody here that's going over? The others, there's some of our team that's going to be over there later this year, but they're not here tonight. They went somewhere else. Janet and I teach when we go, and this is the men's class, the ladies' class. Ladies got an air-conditioned room, and then we go out and teach in villages, small places. There were probably 300 children here this afternoon when we were doing this, and I don't know how many adults involved. This is a brand new congregation, less than 2 years old, and there's the kids going home. And they chased us in our van as we left. Just beautiful. And then another ladies' workshop, that's Janet and Catherine Norwood. Catherine and her husband just called. They'll be out at the camp tomorrow. And they were helping us on this trip. Good food. Except for this, that's snails, great big snails. And I think they've been boiled, but I'm not sure, but Janet said she didn't attempt to eat that. And then the ladies group from several congregations, a radio speaker, Winona, the Winona group, Shane and Emily are here from Winona, and Lewis And Martha, they support this radio program here with June from Virac. And then we have a man who works with us on relief projects. And this is a place where kind of a slum area burned, and 15,000 families lost their home. And so Chito, who is, if I can get to the second one from the right, has a team of doctors, nurses, social workers, and then we get preachers to volunteer. And if there's a natural disaster anywhere in Asia, he takes that team and works there for a period of time. Chito finances a lot of it himself. He's a real estate developer who's done real well, and then he gets help from here as well. But anyway, he works with us. When he gets through with his disaster program, we follow him. We come in behind him, and most of the time there's a new congregation or two, and a lot of times a training program that started. That's how we started Nepal Bible College. That's how we started Vietnam Bible College. That's how we started Magina Bible College in northern Burma. There's several programs that he could get there when we couldn't. But anyway, it's just a piece of what we do in a way to open doors that's developed over the years. Malaysia, this is a Muslim country. Malaysia and Indonesia are Muslim countries. And it's harder to work in where you're dealing with Muslims. And Colin and Ellen McKee are here somewhere, right back there. They've spent their life working in Indonesia with in the Muslim population, and it's hard to make inroads there. But we've had some success on the island of Borneo, in a part of Malaysia, the Malaysia side of Borneo. This man on the left works with us. Most of our work and growth has been in rural areas, jungle areas. We've converted a lot of people who are Muslim, Islam, believe in Islam. And it's slow and steady and very difficult. South America, our youngest son, Jeremy, heads up this part of our work, and you can see the bases he's building in South America, almost every South American country. Missionaries have been down there for a long, long time from the Lord's church, but many of the works that were started 40 and 50 years ago, if you go check on them, they've drifted over into kind of community church type things, and so there's a lot of need to kind of shore up some things there. And Jeremy is tasked by his supporting and sponsoring church, Madison, Alabama, to do that. And so these are places where we got projects going in South America, and it's a big undertaking. We have some work in East Africa. A friend of mine in Dixon, Tennessee, does radio broadcasting all over the world, and he asked me if I would support some radio work in East Africa, and I did. We did, and then about 2 years ago we doubled that and increased our support, and so we doubled our broadcasting. And about a year ago, roughly a year ago, we were reporting one Sunday morning near Tupelo, Mississippi, and my wife. In the audience, I keep my eye on my wife most of the time, and she keeps me on track. You're going too slow, you're going too fast, you're doing this, you're doing that. She has all these ways of correcting me. She's on her phone. I thought, she never does that. She's fooling with her phone the whole time I'm doing this. So we took the break, and she went outside, and I went out, and she said, I got to answer this call. The guy that we work with near Nashville, that's our radio guy, he's trying to call her over and over and over again. So she goes out there and calls him. His wife has got Alzheimer's, and she was afraid it was bad news. He said, I just had to tell somebody. Now, Africa's several hours ahead of us. This was Sunday night in Africa. We're Sunday morning. He says, we just got finished with baptizing 300 people. 300 people. How did this happen? A few weeks ago, we got a man called us who was listening to our radio broadcast, and he says, I want to talk to you. We went and studied with him. He was baptized. He says, I'm a denominational preacher. Will you come tell the congregation where I preach what you told me? So 4 preachers went on Sunday, the following Sunday, and they spent all day teaching this 300 people or so. And that afternoon, they baptized 300. The next week, they baptized 90 more. And then the next week, even more. That's the biggest result we've ever had from one radio program. And that whole thing cost us less than $1,500 a year. $1,500 a year to do what we do in that one project. So you never know what's going to come. The thing to do is sow the seed. Make sure everybody hears. It doesn't make any difference politically or ethnically or whatever. Let them hear. Let them hear, and God will take it from there. And thank you for helping us. We appreciate you so much. Your dollars turn into souls won, and we'll do our best as long as we can. We've got sons in place to take this work forward. We even have grandchildren working with us that have already been in the field many times and are ready to go with their parents and work with them. And one of them is a granddaughter named Clara Grace, and she has a little band. She just graduated from Freed Hardeman. She has a little band, and she's going to be entertaining at the Maywood dinner Saturday night. She's the entertainment with her band, and it's called Clarabelle and the Creeps. And so, I said, Gracie, why did you call it? She's called it Clarabelle and the Creeps. She said, well, Daddy was in the band for a long time. And that was a joke. That's Joey who works with us, which we couldn't do without Joey. But so if you get a chance, go hear Clarabelle. Thank you again. Is it time to stop? Okay.